Hi guys, this is Jo Kelly. Today we're going to be talking about, your capacity to be in touch with your true talent and your pure, authentic self and how magic that feels. And therefore, since it is actually pretty amazing to feel, why don't we feel it more often? And how can we feel it more often? So if you have comments or questions, you can post them afterwards and I'll get to them as soon as I can. I will also post a free training. Let's first start a little bit with what these two things mean, right? Being talented, being your authentic self. Because a lot of the times when actors start working with me, they have like a belief about whether they are actually talented or not. And when they're talented, they feel like, why is it so hard for me to do things? Because I know I'm talented. And when they feel they're not as talented as others, and you might recognize yourself here, they feel like, why am I not as talented? And if so, it means that I really need to work really harder at this in order to get to the same level, right? I feel that actors don't usually know much. They're a little confused about their authentic self, what that means or what it is, or they're not really in touch with it. But in terms of talent, yeah, actors have like a belief about whether they are into it or not. And of course, when you do manage to be, completely yourself in a scene, well, it feels magical. So, people want more of that. And you might be in this situation too. You might feel like, why am I always stuck somewhere in some emotion or into what do others think about me? Or how do I make sure that I get it right? So wherever you are over there, you're not in the magic, right? And that feels kind of annoying because you're an actor and you're in this profession to feel this like nectar of life, to feel this, acting is the art of being alive. So if you're not fully alive and fully feeling the magic, well, what are you doing, right? If you look at a baby to a child, they are constantly being their pure, authentic self. They are constantly being themselves. They are never trying to please. They are never thinking about what you will think. If you raise them in an environment where they're actually encouraged and nurtured to be whoever they are, if they're not raised in an authoritative environment, in an environment where we actually teach them, to behave like they should, or else they'll be punished, which is absolutely not what we do. We have a very humanitarian approach to education, and we let them be kids, and we let them figure things out by themselves and solve their own problems. And that's the type of school that they go to. So if you allow kids to develop in that kind of environment, they will always completely be magical when you look at them, and talented. So if you would take those same children and send them up to being adult actors and not have any transition happen in there, not have any conditioning happen, they would be extraordinary. So what I'm saying right now and right here is that you have that exact pure, authentic self. You were that pure, authentic self when you were little. And I don't know when it stopped for you. Usually it stops around 6 years old because there's so much authority and conditioning and academics poured down your throat, or shoved down your throat, for you to, behave, feel, think, and do exactly what you're told, and exactly what is right, and exactly what is good, and exactly what fits with the others, that you let go of that pure, authentic self. So all of those pure reactions, the way that you get upset at your friend when she takes the poo-poo Play-Doh, the way that you take it back, the way that you ask for more bacon, the way that you be, the way that you are breathing in and out, the way that you're existing when you were a child was fully, purely authentic and talented. That's what talent is. It's just your capacity to be exactly who you are. So what happens between you, who has been extremely free and purely authentic when you were little, and now you finding yourself in an audition room on set being blocked, restricted, thinking about how to do it right, fearing what they think of you, fearing whether you'll book it or not, fearing that you're wrong, all of those things together. What happens between that pure, authentic, talented, unique, amazing, magic human being that you were, and now the blocked, restricted, resistant version? Well, what happens is that conditioning. So it's not your fault. It happens to all of us in this, in this culture and in this time period, that kids are molded to fit, to become good, to become right, to become a product of their parent, to become a product of society, to fit in factories. That's how parenting is poured down generation after generation so far, and hopefully it's starting to change. And that is how, so far, schools have been developed to make you a little robot that will fit in a factory, basically. So the good news in all of that is that what has stolen you away from your talent, from the magic that it feels, and from your capacity to just be as pure and feel that magic every single time when you act, is only conditioning. It's that thick layer of resistance that's been put on top of you so that you would fit the rest of the world. So what there is to do is not to get better, is not to improve, is not to take another class to learn how to act. Acting is the art of being alive. Under that thick layer of resistance, you're fully alive. Look at any child. Any child is so different, so unique, and so magical in their own specific way. So what you have the opportunity to do is to undo, unlearn, unformat, uncondition, unprogram everything that's been shoved down your throat, so that you can recuperate, so that you can get back to what was always already and meant to be there in the first place, which is the best thing and the only thing you have to offer as an actor, which is your true, authentic, and yes, talented, no matter how you show up self. I'm not talking about confident. I'm not talking about beautiful. I'm not talking about strong. I'm talking about whatever combination or non-combination you have of any human textures, any human values, any human traits. Your unique combination and your capacity to be with that self in outside circumstances is your talent. When you can bring that to the table, bring that to the character, bring that to a story, it's magic for you and for the audience. So what there is to do, again, is not to learn more, is not to learn how to act, is to de-learn, de-do, undo, unprogram. Is to go backwards and get that pure, authentic self back, so you can get your talent back, you can get the magic back. So I'm going to share a free training. It's called Stop Trying to Be a Good Actor, so you have a chance of being great, which is a first step that I recommend that you take in order to do this type of work. And of course, you can do more, and I have programs that you can do, etc. But if you want to take a first step into this type of work, do that, and then you'll look into more if you want to do more. So thank you guys. Bye-bye. So if you're interested in this, and if this makes sense, if you want to do this work, you can get on our wait list. You click the link below, and as soon as we open enrollment, we'll let you know.